The Baltimore Orioles are in serious trouble early on into the season. They're 13-20 right now. They lost big yesterday against the Kansas City Royals. And their offense, which was one of their team's strengths, is just not performing this early into the season. Their playoff odds, 33 games into the season, have fallen to just under 7%. So things need to turn around quickly if the Baltimore Orioles want to get back to the postseason and prove some of the doubters wrong. So we'll break that down and much more coming up on this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. Welcome in, everybody, to 3 Up, 3 Down. I'm your host, Peter Vryonis. And the Baltimore Orioles have just not been the same Orioles that we've seen in the past couple of regular seasons. We thought that Gunnar Henderson would be one of the sexy picks for the MVP award early on. We knew that Adley Rutschman would have sort of a bounce-back season. We thought that that would be the case with the way that he started. But right now, things are just looking bleak for him and for the rest of the Orioles offense. The only guys with an OPS over 800 on the squad are Cedric Mullins and Ryan O'Hearn, two guys that are looked at as sort of specialists and not necessarily everyday players, but they've been entrusted into those everyday roles just because no one else has been performing. Now, Mullins did have some moments last year and showed some power. We know about his great base running and base stealing ability, but he's playing pretty much every day now. Same thing for Ryan O'Hearn, a guy who was looked at as a platoon guy, someone that you would only play against right-handed pitching. That's not the case anymore. They need to find some answers, and they need to find them quickly. Gunnar Henderson started the season injured, wasn't playing early on, and he hasn't exactly hit the ground running either. He's only got 3 home runs and 5 RBIs in his action thus far. Adley Rutschman started off like a house on fire against the Toronto Blue Jays, a team that he absolutely terrorizes, and now his OPS is standing at around the 650 mark. So a lot of question marks surrounding the Baltimore Orioles. They lost their ace in Corbin Burnes in free agency, who signed with the Arizona Diamondbacks. So that was another issue that they had coming into the year. Like, who are they going to get the production out of in terms of starting pitching? They replaced him with Tomoyuki Tsugano and Charlie Morton. Tsugano has been pretty good in his limited outings, but Charlie Morton, I mean, he's in his 40s. What can you expect out of a guy in his 40s? He has not been good at all. So the bullpen, another thing that could be viewed as a strength, has been fairly solid. You know, Felix Bautista, Yennier Cano, they got a lot of fireballers in that unit. But what good does it matter? What good does it do if you can't turn it over to your bullpen with a lead? And the Orioles just have not been able to do any of that. They're not hitting, they're not scoring runs, and they're currently last place in the American League East. 5.5 games back of the New York Yankees. It's still very early in the season. No team has really caught fire in that division either. I mean, the Jays are 3 games back. The Rays 3 games back of the lead. So it's pretty wide open right now, and definitely a lot of baseball left to be played. But with the early signs, the early warning signs that we've seen out of the Baltimore Orioles, I'm not exactly sure that they can right the ship here. And I don't necessarily want to be wrong, because I want to see my Blue Jays make the playoffs and be able to participate in the dance, something that they have been able to do over the past few years, just not last season. But yeah, the Orioles, they have all the talent. I mean, Jordan Westberg on the IL right now, he had a good season for them last year. I mean, there are some valuable pieces on this team that are just not performing up to snuff right now. And it's shocking. It's truly shocking how bad they have been. They just got obliterated by the Royals in their series. I mean, giving up runs left and right, not being able to drive guys in. It's been one of the more under the radar stories this year, how bad the Baltimore Orioles have been, because no one had that on their bingo cards. I mean, maybe you could have seen a bit of regression just because of the fact that they don't have Corbin Burnes, a guy who's pretty much good for 175 to 200 innings every year, who's going to be an ace at the top of your rotation. They don't have that anymore. So where are they getting that production? They're getting it from Morton, and it's nowhere even near the level of a Cy Young candidate. So a lot of questions that need to be answered that Baltimore Oriole fans are posing to the team right now, and just don't really have any clear-cut definitives as to how this thing is going to play itself out. I mean, the talent is there. There's no doubt that the offensive talent is there for Baltimore. It just hasn't clicked for them early on, but you don't want to fall too far behind the eight ball, because then you're putting yourself in a really tough spot if you're the Orioles. But that'll wrap it up for this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. Thank you all so much for making it this far, and I will see you all tomorrow.